Shortly I will hand over to our production manager Olivia Nexted, who will introduce the production team. But quick bit of health and safety first. In the case of emergency, out into the car park and actually across the road. Toilets, if you need them, left out of these doors and right, and you'll find those there. Other than that, I'll hand over to Olivia. Oh, I'm Aidan. See, I told you I'd forget something. I'm Aidan, Vice President of Theatre Whakatane.
Okay, hi, I'm Olivia. I'm the production manager for Oliver. So I'll be getting all your fun questions, I'm sure, during the season and everything like that. So just let me know if you've got any questions. I'll introduce everyone. So basically, first we've got JD, who is our amazing director. We've also got our assistant director, Bronwyn Fox, and Morris, who is our musical director. And on the end there we've got Andy, who is our choreographer. So yeah, that's basically I'll hand it over to JD and he can tell you his vision for the show.
Thank you. Oliver's a great show. It's been around for a long time and it's been done so many times over so many years, and that's because it is such a great show with great music and great characters. So it's a real fun show to be part of. So we've already got those. Thank you, Andy, and you can go on to the next one. Okay, so there will be a backing track for the auditions. The information pack which you'll get at the end there will contain a link for details about the roles, what's required for the auditions. The auditions are on Friday the 3rd from 6 till 9, from Saturday the 4th from 10 till 9, and Sunday the 5th from 9 till 11:30. Callbacks are at 1 o'clock on Sunday, so you should always keep that time available. What we do is during the auditions we try to work out the top 2 or 3 people that we think are going to be possible for a role, and then we call them back to look at them again in comparison to the other people that they're playing opposite, obviously, to see if they're going to match, okay, and what's going to sound like. So that's what the callbacks are for. And just if you do get a callback, bring a book or your phone or something, because you can sit out there for hours doing nothing while we're working with other people in here. So it's it can be a very time-consuming process. Thank you, Andy. Okay, so rehearsals start on Tuesday the 14th, and they'll continue on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 9, on Sundays from 10 to 6. The rehearsal schedule is available. It's on the website, so you can download it, and it's there. The pack-in is on Sunday, September the 8th. Opening night is Wednesday, September 25th. Closing night is October the 12th. Sorry, I've made that's wrong, isn't it? Is it October the 5th or the 12th? Sorry. That's right. That's wrong. It's the 5th or the 12th. Okay. We're going to go to the 5th, and if we get lots and lots of ticket sales, we'll extend it through to the 12th. Okay, so ignore that there. Pack-outs on Sunday after closing night. Oh, that was a cunning way of putting it, wasn't it? Okay, right, next one. Quick, get rid of that. Okay, now, I've done Oliver 4 different times, and this was the first time I did it many years ago now, and it was before digital photos, so I had to take a photo of the photo, which is why the light kept on creeping in. Have you ever tried taking a photo with your cell phone of another photo? Yeah, very hard. I designed this set. I did this at St Peter's School in Cambridge. It's the first time I did it. And I designed this set for that production. And the other times I've done Oliver, the constraints of the theatre have not allowed me to use the set again. I've had to adapt to the way I wanted to do it. Whereas with the theatre we've got, this set will now work beautifully. So this is the same set design as I used originally. Basically it's on a revolve. There's a sort of a bridge across the middle here which has railing on one side, the back side, but not on this side. This is Fagan's Den, so fireplace, etc. It's got a set of stairs on either side, and there's one set of stairs that's actually built into the revolve, and the other sets of stairs are movable. This is also used for Mrs. Bedouin's house, and it's also used in some other scenes as well. It's used in some other scenes as well. So that's what one side looks like. And then when we turn the revolve around, that's the other side. So this is used in Who Will Buy and other scenes. So, and then you can see this is the set of stairs that's built in, and then there's 2 sets of stairs on either side, which are movable and move around during the show to different times. So what we're able to do by using this set is, so this is sort of a scene that's happening here. While this is happening, our crew behind are actually changing what it looks like for a different scene behind. So although it looks as only 2 sides, in actual fact there's many different scenes we use by changing the decoration, adding a portrait, adding a bit of material, just bits and pieces to change the scene. And if you can, thank you. That just shows you what the sets of stairs look like. So there's 2 sets of stairs on wheels which move around there. That just shows you those. And so this is the set drawing which I've sent through to Barry and his team. So basically there's a bridge across the middle there. It's got double doors on one side and a single door on the other side. 2 sets of movable stairs, and this is the set of stairs which is built into the revolve. Thank you. That's what the side with the double doors look like. Okay, it's got a railing with lanterns, etc. So that's just those ones. And now the roles. Okay, so I'll go through the roles. When we're talking about ages, particularly for those with children here, we're talking about what you look like on stage. You don't actually have to be that age. So if you can look older, then you can be younger, and if you're younger, if you're older, you can look younger, whatever. Okay, it's what you look like. So Oliver is a workhouse boy, about 11 to 13. We would accept auditions from anyone who we feel is going to be able to sing that role. We will be fairly flexible with ages. A lot of it will depend upon if it's a younger boy or girl who looks older, or if it's an older boy or girl who looks younger. And also, it would also depend on, obviously, on the auditions as well, but there is that opportunity. So don't be too obsessed about the age. Now, what I've done here is, this is the music you need to sing, and this is the dialogue. Now, this is all on the website as also, so you can download the music. And are we going to have backing tracks onto the website?
We will have backing tracks onto the website, but they won't be there until after this weekend.
Okay. So after this weekend there'll also be backing tracks so that you can get used to singing with the backing track that you'll be used to sing at the audition. So you get used to the one you're going to be singing with. There's dialogue there. The dialogue is labelled Oliver and Dodger, so you just look for the dialogue that's labelled Oliver and Dodger. That's the dialogue you need to learn. From me, and you need to be aware that I expect you to learn all your dialogue off by heart before the first rehearsal of that scene. So for example, in the first rehearsal, say we're doing pages 1 to 12, then any dialogue you have in pages 1 to 12, I expect you to arrive having learnt that dialogue already. Because when we're rehearsing, those of you who've worked with me before, we start rehearsing on your character from the very beginning. We do not want a piece of paper messing up. Okay, so you will not make me happy if you don't have your dialogue learned. Okay? For auditions, I would strongly recommend you learn the dialogue really, really well, because you're trying to show us what you can do. And if you're holding a piece of paper, you can't act with a piece of paper in there while you're trying to hold that. So you need to learn that dialogue really well for the auditions, and put your effort into learning the song and learning the dialogue so that you present yourself to the best possible way that will enhance the opportunity of you getting the role that you're after. Okay? For the Artful Dodger, okay, so the Artful Dodger is Fagan's brightest pupil. He's a worldly youth, great character, about 13 to 14, once again. His music is Consider Yourself, and his dialogue is also Oliver and Dodger. So when you come to the dialogue, if you're auditioning for Oliver, when you come to the audition, there will be a person on the panel who will read, so that dialogue has both Oliver and Dodger talking to each other. There will be a person on the panel who will read Dodger's lines opposite you. And when you come to audition for Dodger, there will be a person on the panel who will read Oliver's lines opposite you. When we come to the recalls, we'll get one Dodger in and one Oliver, and now we will see how they react to each other. Then we'll send one of them out and get another one in from the other, etc. and so forth, and just have a look at how they pair up. Fagin, a classic role, one of the classic roles in theatre, okay, magnificent acting role. He runs an academy for young pickpockets, okay? His music is I'm reviewing the situation, and his dialogue is simply labelled Fagin. Okay, thank you. Okay, Bill Sykes, he's the villain, the baddie, and isn't it fun to be a baddie? I love playing baddie roles. Bill Sykes is the villain in his prime. His music is My Name, and his dialogue is labelled Bill Sykes. Nice and easy. Nancy, okay, now Nancy is Bill's lover. She's a graduate from Fagan's Academy. She's learned how to be a pickpocket. She's very good at it, etc. She is in love with Bill, and she sings this beautiful song, As Long As He Needs Me, and the start is at bar 39 through to the end of the music that's listed on the website. The dialogue for Nancy is the dialogue between Nancy and Bet. Okay, so that's what she learns. Mr. Bumble, a lovely character role. A large, pompous man, over 50, in charge of the workhouse. We do have padding for slimmer actors, okay? From memory, was this played by Harry Seacombe?
Yes, it was.
It was it? Yeah. Harry Seacombe in the movie, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, Harry Seacombe. It's a lovely role, a lovely character role. He sings Boy for Sale. Now, for him, we want to hear two songs, Boy for Sale and I Shall Scream, those two songs. They're completely different in the way in which they're sung, so we want those to see the difference that Mr. Bumble can give us, those two character differences. His dialogue is a dialogue between Mr. Bumble and Widow Corney. Now, Widow Corney is another lovely role, a sharp-tongued, domineering widow. She's the workhouse mistress, and her music is She Will Sing, I Shall Scream, and her dialogue will obviously be the dialogue with Mr. Bumble and Widow Corney. So you can see what we're doing as we're giving you the dialogue to learn for auditions. We're setting ourselves up so that we can see how these partnerships work in the callbacks. Okay? Right, thank you. Noah. Now, Noah Claypole is the Undertaker's apprentice, about 18 years old. For music, he'll sing Consider Yourself, and then his dialogue is between Noah and Charlotte. So he thinks he's really the bee's knees, okay? And there's quite a lovely scene with him and Oliver, okay? Mr. Sowerby, he's the Undertaker, a very austere man, okay? His music is That's Your Funeral, and then his dialogue is the dialogue between Mr. and Mrs. Sowerby. Okay, and then Mrs. Sowerby is actually his overseer. She's in charge. She runs the funeral parlour, okay? He thinks he does, but she's the boss. Her music is At Your Funeral, and then the dialogue is the dialogue between Mr. and Mrs. Sowerby. Charlotte is their sassy young daughter, around about 14 to 16 or thereabouts. Her music is Consider Yourself, and the dialogue is from Noah and Charlotte. Okay? Bet. So Bet is in Fagan's establishment. She's about 13 years old or thereabouts. She idolises Nancy. She looks up to Nancy. That's what she would like to be like Nancy as she gets older. Her music is Consider Yourself, and then the dialogue is the dialogue between Nancy and Bet. Mr. Brownlow is an older gentleman of wealth and breeding. His music is Consider Yourself, and the dialogue is between him and Dr. Grimwig. Mrs. Bedwin is the Brownlow's housekeeper. She'll be chosen from those who auditioned for Widow Corney, so if you're interested in that role, just audition for Widow Corney anyway and make a note that you'd be interested in that role as well. Okay? Dr. Grimwig is a doctor. His music is Consider Yourself, and the dialogue is between Mr. Brownlow and Dr. Grimwig. And then Old Sally is a pauper. Her music is Consider Yourself, and her dialogue is Old Sally. Now, Mr. Brownlow, Mrs. Bedwin, Dr. Grimwig, and Old Sally, all of those people will actually be in the ensemble as well. So they'll be in the ensemble because they're only involved in a couple of scenes in Act 2. Okay, and so they're actually in the ensemble for the rest of the show. So they do all the Consider Yourself, Who Will Buy, and all the other songs that we have for the ensemble, Papa and the big drinking song and everything. Okay? Okay, and that's the end of the presentation. Nice and simple. Now, we have got, I'm going to ask you for questions in a minute. We have got sheets which we can give out. There is one error in the sheets, I'm sorry. And that is that it says that if you're auditioning for the ensemble, you can bring your own music. No. If you're auditioning for ensemble, you sing Consider Yourself. Consider Yourself is such a great song, and it shows, so sing it with verve and vitality. Consider yourself at home. Just really go for it, okay? Just give lots of energy. If you are interested in any of either the children or the adults ensemble roles, then you sing Consider Yourself. The backing track will be there, the music will be there. So other than that one error in that, Morris, would you like to add anything?
Yes, I would. Yeah, so the music will be there, the backing track will be there, and if you want to listen to how the song goes, you should probably refer to the original cast, which you
Original cast recording on
which
YouTube.
you see on YouTube or Spotify or something. Yeah, if you want to listen to it. Should we talk about how rehearsals?
Yep, absolutely.
So I'll be taking rehearsals on Tuesday nights, and Andy is going to be taking rehearsals. The dance rehearsals will be on Thursday nights, and then blocking and the whole shebang is going to be done by JD on Sundays. So to talk about scheduling for the music rehearsals, I'll get the first few Tuesdays and Thursdays. And our very first Tuesday, everybody will be there at 6 o'clock. But the whole cast will be required at 6 o'clock. Thereafter, on Tuesday nights, what I'll do is 6 till 6:30 will be the child soloists. So that's likely to be Oliver and Dodger, right? And then from 6, so kids then are then going to be 6:30 till 7:30. The rest of the child ensemble is 6:30 to 7:30 on Tuesdays. The adults are going to be from 7 till 8:30. So if you can work that out, there's going to be a crossover between the children and the adults, because we've got pieces that have both children and adults in them. And then 8:30 till 9 will be adult soloists. So that's how it's going to be. Obviously, as once I get the program sorted out, I'll define which soloists go when to make your life easy for you. But that's the kind of structure that I'm looking at. So it's nice and simple. Children will be 6:30 till 7:30, apart from soloists, and adults will be 7 till 8:30. Okay. And yes, we said backing tracks after this weekend, right? And that's all, I think, for me.
Yeah. It makes it easy for parents with children to, depending on if it's Oliver's or Dodgers, but to pick them up. They know they can pick them up around about 7:30, so it's not going to be a late night.
Betty, how many people in the ensemble groups? You mentioned the named roles, but ensemble...
And the ensemble groups, it really depends on the auditions. It's not possible to say now, but basically we can have quite a big cast. I mean, we've got a reasonable size stage, we've got a good size revolve, we've got the sides on the sides of the revolve to use, and there's big scenes like Umpapa and Who Will Buy that are big scenes with lots of people in. I can't give an actual figure at the moment, but there will be plenty of opportunity for anyone who wants to be a part
20,
to be a part.
50?
Sorry? Oh, no. Probably, I would say at the most, say 40 at the most total, I'd say, yeah, but possibly less. It really depends on how many audition. Obviously, if you've got a number of children to start with, I mean, 40 sounds like a big number on stage, but if you've got a lot of children, they're often in scenes by themselves, and the adults often have scenes by themselves. Then there's scenes such as Consider Yourself, and Who Will Buy, when the adults and the children. But Umpapa is just the adults, Food Glorious Food is just the kids, Bacon's Gang is just the kids. So, so there's numbers of time where there's actually a lot less than that on stage. Yeah. Yes?
What age range is the child ensemble?
Well,
the youngest you will take?
Okay, we want to be flexible. Okay, so we want to be flexible. Obviously, it depends on their audition. We will go to. I'm not sure if we. I don't want to put a number on it. If the child is well behaved,
Yep.
because we don't want little children who have got no attention span. Okay, so they've got to be well behaved, good attention span. Otherwise, we won't be interested in them. Okay, for the smaller ones. Okay, I'm talking about maybe sort of 7, 8-year-olds, whatever. Okay, but otherwise, in general, we'd probably be looking between 9 to 13, 14, something like that. But yeah, we would look outside of that. If there's a 15-year-old who's very small, or if there's an 8-year-old who looks very mature and is well behaved. Okay. I talk that for the younger children. That's really important, okay, because otherwise they disrupt everyone else if they haven't got their own, if they haven't got a good concentration span. So we want to be flexible because this is a great show to be in, and we want to give as much opportunity as we can to those people in the community.
Are you having 2 Olivers and 2 Dodgers?
Yes, we will have. Yes, we will have 2 Olivers and 2 Dodgers, so that they will alternate. Yes, so it's not an understudy or anything. There'll be 2 Olivers. So there'll be an Oliver Dodger one night, and the next night will be a different Oliver and Dodger, and then the following night back to the first lot and so on. And they'll just alternate like we did in Into the Woods. Those of you who are Into the Woods, the same as we did there. So there are 2 casts, if you like, of Oliver and Dodger.
Would you consider female Olivers or female Dodgers?
Not unless we find that the quality of those auditioning does not. Basically, no. We obviously we will have females in Fagan's Gang and females in Food Glorious Food, etc. So, and of course, originally it's meant to be all boys, but we're very happy to have females. That's lovely. But Oliver and Dodger, particularly, well, actually both of them, they really need to be boys. Sorry, I just don't think it works well as girls. Sorry. But if we were desperate, I suppose we might have to. But hopefully we will have all you good boys out there learn those songs so that we actually have 2 Olivers and 2 Dodgers, please. Okay? Yes?
Will the child ensemble also be split?
Not unless we get 40 or 50 auditioning. Okay? Unless we get large numbers auditioning, we'll have a child ensemble will be every single night, and it'll just be the Olivers and Dodgers that'll be alternating. Okay? It really depends on those auditioning. A lot of decisions that you're talking about, we can't make those decisions until after we've had auditions when we see what we've got. But we are wanting to be very flexible. And this as well as the roles I've mentioned, there's a number of other roles. For example, the pauper assistants, which are basically, they're probably guys around about 17, 18, that sort of age group. There's the barman, umpapa. There's what other parts? There's other little walk-on and off parts that have maybe a few words or even have no words and just acting roles that are all part of it. So the ensemble actually not only end up in the scenes that are written for the ensemble, but they also end up in other scenes, such as, for example, like in Food Glorious Food, when the kids are basically the main ones on stage, we'll have some of the governors, which will be men, because in those days it would have only been men, who will be padded out to look very fat and overfed, and they will walk across the stage, and following them will be all the most glorious plates of wonderful food and big chickens and turkeys and all the fabulous food just for these governors, and then we turn around and there's the kids with gruel. It's like, so just that lovely contrast between the rich governors who take this place and the poor kids who are left behind. Okay, so there's all those little walk-on, walk-off bits as well, yes?
You said, Kate, obviously males, but obviously some females with makeup could fill off those roles.
Oh, they could, yes, that's true. They could, yeah. The only reason I said obviously males, because in those days, we're trying to make it as realistic as possible. In those days, the governors would only have been males. Unfortunately, if we go back to Dickens's day, we know it was not as enlightened as we are today. Any other questions at the moment? Yes?
Does Oliver have friends, or are they classed as ensembles?
Oliver is a role, and yes, he is friends, but he makes friends with Dodger first of all, or Dodger makes friends with him, and then Dodger takes him back to Fagan's place, and then he makes friends there. So I'm not sure what you mean by... He's
when auditioning...
so when he auditions, he's auditioning by himself?
Yep.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, or his friend, yeah. I don't know if there was specific friend roles or not, or...
No, there are. There's Charlie. But we will choose Charlie from... Charlie is a role in Fagan's Gang.
Okay.
And it's a role that has dialogue.
Yeah.
Little bits of dialogue. But we will choose that from the people who audition for Oliver or Dodger, or from any of the girls who we feel are going to fit that role. So, yeah, is that what you're asking? Sorry.
No, that's all good.
I wasn't quite sure. Yeah. Is that answering? Yes. Yes.
If you do it for a role, and you think that another person would be a fun, will you swap them for
Yes.
role?
Yes. So it's a good question. in case you didn't hear it. And well done. That shows strong bravery, putting your hand up and asking a question. Well done. If you audition for one role, but the audition panel feel that in actual fact a different role would suit you better, will we swap? Yes, we will. We will ask you either to read for that other role or to sing a song for that other role, or we might ask you, we might say, listen, thank you for auditioning now, but when we want to call you back, but we want you to call you back not only for this role, but we want you also to learn the song for another role. And we might ask you to learn another one at the same time when you come back to the callbacks. So yes, we're always looking, when we're auditioning, we're always looking to see what, does this person suit this role, or maybe this person suits another role better, or something like that. So we're always looking at that, yes. Great, yes?
Can you audition for more than one role?
Yes, you can, absolutely. You can audition for more than one role. And if you're not sure, and we've already said, if you're going to audition for ensemble, then you have to sing Consider Yourself. You don't have to learn any dialogue. But if your Consider Yourself is really strong and we like what you've done on the auditions, you might say, I'm auditioning for ensemble, but we think, actually, you might work quite well in another role. Then we will actually give you a bit of dialogue and send you out there for 5-10 minutes to look at it, and then we'll call you back in later when we've got a moment, and we might ask you to read something else. So we don't pigeonhole anything. We keep everything as broad as possible, and we look at all possibilities. So yes, or even if you audition for ensemble, doesn't mean to say that we can't look at you for something else. Okay? Yes?
If you audition for another character, so you could also be ensemble?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. When you audition for a character, if you miss out, we automatically consider you for ensemble as well. Yeah. Other questions?
Jackie, who will buy was milk maize,
Yes.
strawberries, cellar and grinder. There's some lovely solo singing parts, or a group singing part, 4 parts.
Yes, there is. So in the beginning of Who Will Buy starts with a number of different soloists, the strawberry seller, the knife grinder, etc. And they have lovely singing roles, solo roles. And once again, we will pick those people based on your auditions. So when you're auditioning, we will be thinking, could this person sing? And we might even, Morris might then ask you to, he might look to see what your range is, or he might ask you to look at something else, or whatever. But we will be looking at people for those roles, because those are very nice solo singing roles. Yes, absolutely. Yes?
Hey, are there any other places rather than actually acting on stage that you're looking for?
We're always
Behind
looking.
the scenes?
We're always looking for people who might help out, say in wardrobe, or in makeup, or in stage crew, or helping with props, or helping with.
If that's the case, please come and talk to me once we've wrapped up here, and I can see if we've got a spot for you. But yeah, we're always looking for more crew and different departments. So yeah.
Any other questions? Andy? Robin?
The only thing is that in order to be on the stage, you need to be a paid-up member of Theatre Whakatane. That's one of the requirements we have if you are a successful auditionee and are in the show. That keeps the fires burning, so to speak. But, no, looking forward to it.
And that is how much?
Oh,
$35 a single, $60 for a family.
35 singles, 60 for a family.
Okay.
For a year.
Yeah. So look at you.
Just on the audition weekend, the movement.
Oh, yes. Okay. Okay, so on the Sunday of the audition weekend, we will have a time where all those people who are auditioning will ask you to come. We haven't got the exact time yet, but we will work that out and publicise that. There'll be a time, possibly about 11 o'clock. Let's make it 11, shall we? Okay. We've made it. Whew. Okay. So for all those people auditioning, children and adults, okay, at 11 o'clock we will just have all of you in here, and Andy will just go through some moves and teach you some moves, just so that we can have you as a whole group we can watch you just doing some moves and just get an idea so she knows which people are the better movers and which people are not. And don't worry, there's opportunities for everyone. But so we better put that on the website or something. At 11 o'clock, so make a note, 11 o'clock on the Sunday, was that the 5th, was it? 3rd, 4th, 5th?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yep.
Make sure my memory's got that right. Okay, on the 5th, 11 o'clock, and then if you're called back, then obviously you can go and have lunch somewhere and come back about half an hour or an hour later. So that'll give you a break after your dancing. Yes?
If you've got a kid that's auditioning for the first time, are mums are allowed to be in there for moral support while they're auditioning?
I think we would allow that to just if
Or if mum and son are auditioning for the same show, can they do it together?
It would be preferable if you could try not,
Okay.
but if they're going to walk in and cry without you, then I suppose that's the only way. But it would be really nice for them to show how brave they are by coming in by themselves. That would be really nice. That immediately tells us that they've got the possibility of being able to be on stage without mum. So, you know. But if it's actually essential and they're going to burst in crying without you, then you'll be fine, won't you? Yeah, that's the way. That's the one. Yes.
JD, for anyone who hasn't auditioned before, would you be happy to just give a quick rundown of what's actually going to happen?
Okay, so we'll have, say, a panel here, and we'll probably have a mark on the floor, okay, a cross on the floor, and ask you to stand on that. First thing we'll ask you, we'll have your name, okay, etc. We will ask you to sing the song first. So the music will start, and you'll sing the song. Now, if you mess up and you forget the words suddenly, don't worry, we go over it again. Like, really, people get scared of auditions, and I understand why. It's a scary thing by yourself in front of a group of people. But in actual fact, we're really wanting you to do well. So we're not trying to be critical, we're trying to help you, okay? So if you make a mistake, don't worry, we'll let you start again. There's no worries. We're really relaxed about it, okay? And then having done that, well, first we might ask you when you first come on, you know, we've got the thing, we'll say, oh, so you're auditioning for the role of such and such, and they'll say yes. Or they might say, well, actually, I want to audition for such and such as well. We say, fine. Just because you put the audition roles in your audition form, you want to audition for one role, doesn't mean to say when you arrive you can't tell us you'd actually like to audition for another as well, or switch the other one instead of that one, whatever. You can. We're very open to that, okay? And then after the song, we'll then ask you to do the dialogue. There'll be someone on the panel who read opposite you, because all of the dialogue has other people in it, so it's not all monologue, so you'll have other people reading opposite you. And then we might just have a little chat or whatever. But truly, you shouldn't be scared of auditions. I say that, and it's easy to say that, but it's still always scary. It is always scary, and don't worry about that, okay? Because truly, we're trying to be there to help you and support you. So, yes.
How long do each auditions last?
Okay, so we've got 10 minutes, but in actual fact, it may not take 10 minutes, and sometimes it could take 15 minutes. Because if we feel that there's potential there, we might say to the person auditioning, actually, look, could you read this role as well, or could you do this, or could you sing a different song, or you know, we might teach you something else, or whatever. I mean, it really depends. But yeah, it's usually 10 minutes or less. Okay.
And do we pick our own time on the?
Yes, you do. So when you go to the website, you'll be able to look at the roles again. So they're all on the website, so don't worry about having seen them there. They're all on the website. You look at the role that you think is going to suit you, or one or two roles if you feel there's a couple that suit you. You look at what song you have to learn. You look at what dialogue you have to learn. You then go to another part of the website and you can download the song and you can download the dialogue, and after the weekend you'll be able to download the music. And then you can practice with the music, the same music that's going to be used at the audition. So it's not a surprise to you when you hear the music. Okay?
And on the website there's also a link to the booking site. So
Oh, sorry, yes, that was the other question. Thank you, Ed. Yes, that was what you first asked, wasn't it? Sorry, I digress. Yes, there is a link, so you can actually decide whether you want to book audition on the Friday, Saturday or Sunday, and you pick your time. Okay? Yeah. Yes.
Do you take previous theatre experience into account when choosing roles?
Not necessarily, but in actual fact your previous theatre experience means you will audition better. So it therefore gives you an advantage.
Writing that down.
You don't think it does it, right? Your experience.
We all go back to zero.
Your experience, we look at everyone individually, and it's really important because obviously I've worked with a number of you before, and so I know what you're capable of, but if you can't show that in the audition and someone else shows it better, then, you may... You see what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, because you actually have to prove yourself in the audition what you're capable of. And if you've done theatre experience, truly, despite what someone might think, truly, you will find you will be able to do a better audition because you've been through the process. The first time you audition is the most nerve-wracking. After you've got over that and realised it's not as bad as everyone thinks it is, then you'll find that you'll be much more confident at approaching it.
You have to remember, sorry JD, that the people on the audition panel, they want you to succeed. They want you to do well. They're not sitting there hoping that you fail. So you go in with that in your mind, it makes it a lot easier as well.
Yeah, yeah.
A little bit easier.
Yeah, true. And there was someone who said to me just recently actually that when you audition you should go in, because you love singing and you love acting, so when you audition you should just go in, don't worry about auditioning as such, go in with the process of, this is my chance to sing this song in auditions. Okay? This is my chance to sing this song that I've always wanted to sing in front of people, for people to hear me sing this song. This is my chance to sing this song in front of the auditions. I'm going to go for it. I'm not auditioning. I'm going to show them how much I love this song and how much I can do this part and how well I can act this part. Okay? Because truly, when you are auditioning with the dialogue, you do, okay, so there's a cross there for you to stand. The only reason the cross there is we want a decent distance so that we can see that you're able to project. That's the only reason, just so that we can see that you're able to project your voice. Okay? So, but once you start the dialogue, you can move around, do whatever you want to. You act the role out. Once you start that dialogue, you act the role out. You do not stand there, speak, 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 speak. Okay? You act the role out. Okay? You've got to show us that you're going to be good in that role. And a lot of these roles are very like character roles. Strong character roles, they've got strong either Nancy, who's so desperately in love and has that beautiful song As Long As He Needs Me, when she's so desperately in love of Bill. Bill, who's such a villain, such a nasty villain. Oh, it's so much fun playing a nasty villain. It truly is, okay? And then you've got Fagin, like this amazing character, Fagin, which is just like one of those classic roles that every actor wants to play, And you've got the Sowerberrys. I mean, they're such a great couple too. It's like this, and Bumble. Oh, Bumble. Such a great role. There's so many really strong roles, okay? And it's Charles Dickens. Dickens writes strong characters. I mean, that's why, people are still reading his damn novels hundreds of years later, because the characters are so... And when you think about it, like Dr. Grimwig, just think of the names. The funeral, Mr. Sowerberry. Okay, it's like the names he comes up with, just brilliant. It's just so Dickens. So, yeah.
English accents, are you doing that?
I'm not worried about the English accents, no. If some of them come in, that's fine. Like Dodge is quite nice to have an English accent. Fagin has very much a sort of Jewish type accent, which is good, but I'm not going to worry too much about having English accents and such, no. Okay. Other questions? If you have any other questions that you didn't want to ask or you suddenly think as you're walking out, please come and talk to any of us here with any of your questions, and thank you very much for coming tonight.